think a lot of the shit that we deal with and as
Comes
adults,
from
it
your
comes
upbringing.
from your upbringing, comes from the childhood trauma that you
Mhm.
may not have dealt with. I think that spills over into relationships and how you navigate your relationships, whether it be with your friends, with your significant others, or like even with money. The way you were treated or brought up or reared as a child, or what you witnessed your parents do or whoever was taking care of you.
Experiences, right?
When it comes to money, let's say you all go out to dinner. I'll use that example. And some people like, I'm splitting. You split the bill. $100 is 4 of us, 25. Don't matter what you ate. It's $25 a pop. That's how I roll.
Right.
But some people be like, nah, nigga, I had
salad.
my shrimp was $7. And I'm going to add that $3 on and that's it. But that to me, that has a lot to do with maybe something in their background or their child, where they felt like they got.
Right.
That somebody got over on them. That's what I feel like.
Because when you think about it, people, sorry to cut you off really quick, but people do that at dinner sometimes. Because listen, I'm also a split the bill type of person, but listen, you're not having 10 shots of fine ass whiskey on my dime. Hell no.
Shot of whiskey be like $50. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't mind splitting the bill either, but there are people, and that's that person that takes advantage. I'm going to get me 10 shots of whiskey because you splitting the bill tonight because that's how they know how you roll.
When I first had my first apartment, I was moving into my first apartment. She basically was like, don't get too friendly with your neighbors.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm with your grandma.
So she was like, don't get too friendly with your neighbors because if you do, the moment you have to set boundaries. But she didn't use those words, but she was like, you just have to really like set the tone of what the relationship is going to be like.
Right.
Because the moment they start asking for stuff.
Yeah.
And then she mentioned it starts with a cup of sugar. Hey, you got a cup of sugar? You got some flour? I'm cooking. And then you give it to them. And then next thing you know, my light bill,
right.
$50. And then it keeps going on and on. So she taught me early on to set boundaries. And that shit just spilled over to friendships, spilled over to a lot of areas within my life so that I could try to prevent people from taking advantage of me. Because that's actually one of my biggest pet peeves is when someone takes my kindness for weakness.
Right.
And they think they can kind of get over. Which I can't stand. So that's my take.
Yeah. Well, so I look at it. I'm first of all, your grandma was 100% right. And I got my first apartment. I did the same thing. I was high and by. That's all you're gonna get from me for the most part. No inviting over. My kids ain't going to y'all. None of that stuff. So, but excuse me. So when I think about it from two sides, the relationship is the person that's being taken advantage of and the person that's taking advantage. They both play a part in that.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
Right. So the accountability is on both sides. To your point, Kira, setting the boundaries is you making sure that you're not taken advantage of. But then think about the characteristics of those two individuals, the one that's being taken advantage of and the one that's taking advantage. What do you think? What are your thoughts when you think about those two people? And I have my thoughts here of what the makeup of those people are. So the individual that's being taken advantage of, I think they lack self-esteem. They may have imposter syndrome. They just want to be accepted. That's just a couple of things. There's probably a whole bunch more. And then the person that's taking advantage, they have a sense of entitlement. They're narcissistic and they're getting away with it. So why stop? So I think, and that's just talking about individuals, because having a cup of sugar, it starts with a cup of sugar, spills over to other areas, work, relationships, friendships, partnerships, all that kind of stuff. But that's my take on it.
I think you hit something with like the self-esteem, or like, you mean that was the person that's allowing them to get.
Correct.
Yeah, I think it's a confidence and self-esteem issue, perhaps. What do you think? You haven't said anything, but you screw face.
No.
Face.
Because I kind of know where she's going at with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
So that has nothing to do with that
No
situation?
direct correlation to none of us in here. This is just in general, what from people that I've observed.
Yeah.
Even some of my behaviors in terms of being taken advantage of. So it's not to no one specifically.
I've been told that you're not supposed to get too friendly with neighbors. My mom and dad used to talk about that all the time, but at the same time, you kind of want to keep your enemies closer. That's how I looked at it.
True, but you
So
just
I
said
mean,
your neighbors are your enemies.
Out the gate. Dang. You didn't give them a chance. Enemy
No cup of sugar.
in terms of, yes, you be friendly with everybody, but you're also observant of the people around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones that you may have a off vibe from, just keep it as civil and friendly as possible.
That's the high and by.
Yeah. Keep it cordial. You don't have to be nasty and not speak to no one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you may have a good vibe with certain people, but also you're supposed to set those boundaries in the beginning.
Yep.
So I was a firm believer when I had the kids growing up. Don't bring them to my house if you don't want them to get beat, because I hit other people's kids. Strong believer in that.
Well, I think that's why when you think about it, not to go off a topic, but really quick, when you think about it, our growing up, it was a village. A village was involved. That shit ain't happening no more.
See, but maybe I'm on the cusp because I ain't hitting nobody else's kids. I may talk a lot of shit. I may make sure that I won't put my hands on them. Now, sometimes kids could be unruly and I'd be ready to knock them out. But if it's not my kid.
Yeah, I'm not hitting the kid either. But you're gonna care for the kid like you care for your own.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have those conversations, not certain conversations. You're not gonna go overstep boundaries, but you'll have talks like you would have with your kids because you're gonna care for them because they're in your care at that moment.
I'll try to do that. Yes.
Right.
But see, in this situation, because we've known each other for so long, if you guys would have had to discipline them, because I know it's you, I would have never gotten upset with you. I would have been getting upset with them because now you had to have done something that bad for one of them to discipline you, which is going to make me mad.
Yeah.
I understand that, but but I also think you grew up in a different era. Like, so for me, because I was so rebellious in that way, like I would rather talk and counsel and coach because the other thing is too, you just don't know what's going on in that household. So you don't know what you don't know what you're working with.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I wouldn't, but going back to what you were talking about, like, with respect to like the self-confidence, I think you hit it on the head because, people that take advantage, maybe they're the recipient of getting taken advantage of. I think they do have, it's a lack of self-confidence.
Yeah. And where does that come from? You know, you think about that. So that comes from, you talked about that too, childhood. You don't know what's going on. So they've been able to take advantage of in their own household. So they're used to that behavior. They're used to someone not caring for them. They're used to not having no boundaries. It's like whatever is told is done or whatever is asked is done and given. So that plays a part of that characteristic of that individual too. So
I think you're right. What do you think? You don't believe it?
I mean, it can play a part in it. I mean, I've always been nice to whomever, knowing who I'm dealing with. And I will allow that person up until I'm just not going to deal with it no more.
But nice is one thing, Joe. Being taken advantage of is completely
But I don't
different.
never get placed in that situation to be taken too much advantage of. Because if I start seeing things that I'm going to speak on it. So it's not so much they're taking advantage. You're just picking and choosing battles. If you want to look at it that way.
I understand the picking and choosing battles. I get that.
But as long as you voiced how you feel about a particular situation from the gate, which I've never had a problem.
So you set your boundaries out the door. So you don't even have to. You've never been in a situation where you was taken advantage of.
I won't say that, but once it got to a point that I'm just not going to tolerate it no more, I speak on it.
And you walk.
Or if I've spoken on it and you continue to display that same behavior, then it's like, okay, I'm not fucking with you no more. Excuse me.
So I think I'm a firm believer that people, independent of whether you know them or not, people will treat you the way you allow them
to treat you.
That ties into that too.
It ties into the boundaries, right? So if they think they could get over, and some people are very good natured, so they, I'm not talking about those types. I'm talking about those that are, shiesty, you know, if they think they could get over, they're going to try. They're going to test the waters until you be like, nah, I ain't, like, to your point, I ain't fucking with you, you know? So I just think and going back to what you said, Jimmy, is like, all right, so it does start from, I think a lot of the shit that we deal with and as adults, it comes from your upbringing, comes from the childhood trauma that you may not have dealt with. I think that spills over into relationships and how you navigate your relationships, whether it be with your friends, with your significant others. Like even when it comes down to, I'll use an example, like even with money, right? It's something like the way you were treated or brought up or reared as a child, or what you witness your parents do, or whoever was taking care of you.
Experiences, right?
When it comes to money, like there may be a situation like, nah, because you felt you felt like, let's say you all go out to dinner. I'll use that example. You all go out to dinner, and some people like, I'm splitting. You split the bill. $100. It's 4 of us. 25. Don't matter what you ate. It's $25 a pop. That's how I roll.
Right.
But some people be like, nah, nigga, I had salad. My shrimp was $7. And I'm going to add that $3 on, and that's it. But that to me, that has a lot to do with maybe something in their background or their child, you know, where they felt like they got.
Right.
That they got, somebody got over on them.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
But you think about it, people, sorry to cut you off really quick, but people do that at dinner sometimes. Because listen, I'm also a split the bill type of person, but listen, you're not having 10 shots of fine ass whiskey on my dime. Hell no.
You'd be like $50. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't mind splitting the bill either, but there are people, and that's that person that takes advantage. I'm going to get me 10 shots of whiskeys because we splitting the bill tonight, because that's how they know how you roll.
It's funny.
Go ahead.
When I was younger, it was a little different because my pockets may not have been as well endowed as everyone else's.
Well endowed? That you rich?
No, I'm talking about the people that was around me was rich. So I may have been counting coins. It depends on who I was with as well. I'm paying for my own stuff.
That's fair.
As years gone by, it's like now I don't care. I split the bill. It doesn't matter to me. And if I have it, there's times I've taken care of the bill. But it just also depends on the person's situation. Now, I could see certain individuals when I was hanging out with them, they were nickel and diming because their pockets weren't.
Listen, that's how it was for some people back then, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I also think too, flip side, if you are going to do it, because sometimes I've been in situations where I've gone to dinner with people I don't even know, right? Yeah. And I'm of the mind, well, shit, if I want the filet mignon, I'm going to get that. Or if I want this, I'm going to get that, right? And, or the extra shots, I'm going to get it. But when I leave, I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm going to put in a little bit more.
Yeah, because I know what I ordered. Because you don't take advantage of people. That's why.
I try not to. So not willingly, not intentionally.
Go ahead.
So there's a story that was running around on the internet a couple of weeks ago.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Where there was only one man at the table, and there was a dozen women, and they just sitting there buying it up, buying the most expensive thing on the menu. Just kept buying drinks, and it was somebody's birthday, his wife's birthday.
It wasn't his wife's birthday. I follow those folks religiously.
No, there was more than one story. The one I'm talking about, the guy he was there with his wife.
His wife
and
was
her
there.
Friends. And she actually
dark-skinned guy, right?
No.
There's only dark-skinned, brown-skinned guy and the wife. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, the birthday story, the birthday situation was for his wife. Best friend came. She was the one that organized the whole dinner. When it came to the end, he took care of his wife
and
himself, and I think the best friend, because she was the one that organized the whole thing.
Okay.
Everyone else that was sitting there was looking for him as the man to pay for everybody, and the bill, if I'm not mistaken, was damn near $3,800.
Yeah.
And the girls just started getting up from the table talking about, this is your husband. He's supposed to take care of all of us.
Yeah, bitches.
Because apparently he knew all the other men and what the women's significant other and this, that, and the, and how would it feel if my man was here and he didn't do the same thing for your wife? And he was like, that's not what this is. Yeah. This is a dinner that she organized. So the only 3 people that I'm taking care of is myself, the birthday girl, which is my wife, and the woman that took care of everything from me because we all had schedules. apparently the best friend doesn't work. So she had the time to orchestrate and put everything together. But the fact that you think I'm supposed to take care and he's now running through the list of what everybody
I know
bought.
that I'm following you. I just want to tweak things a little bit because we're gonna put this out there.
But this is not, I don't know what one you're talking about,
It's
but
the
there's
second
more
one.
than one. No, because it was.
All right, it could be the
doesn't
same one. It may not
No.
be the same one.
I guarantee it's the same one.
Go
How
ahead.
do you feel about the man paying?
So I want to get to the core of it is. The core of it is this. No, my husband's not paying for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's not how we rolling.
No.
Unless it's a situation where we both agree that that's how we was going to. There's been situations where we've gone out to dinner with people and we don't say anything until the bill comes and then he'll pick it up. That's something that he wants to do. We've done that in the past.
Yeah.
But in a situation like this where he took care of the girl's birthday and his wife, because the girl and his wife were friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the chicks, they all know each other, but they all know each other. Personally, I think the shit was staged, but that's neither here or there.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is, no, I agree with him. Them chicks got to ante up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, there's no, you came in here, you eating and everything, but you eating a whole bunch of shit and you think you're going to just get over and just be like, let me get up. Nah, that's not how.
So let me ask you this. Was this invite to dinner? Like, we celebrate my wife's birthday.
It was
Y'all
celebrating
come
the girl's
out,
birthday. Yeah.
girlfriend, wife,
Yeah.
whoever was, come out, celebrate with us at said restaurant, wherever it was at said restaurant, date and time, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody said whoever's going to go, go.
Mm-hmm.
Was it ever mentioned? And listen, I'm not taking these chicks' sides at all, but was it ever said you need to be prepared to pay X, Y, and Z for your?
I don't think they did.
But that's common sense. Don't it?
Not for everybody.
all the
Not
way.
for everybody.
Not every
Okay.
time. When you're invited, people think when they're invited out. If I invite you out to dinner, not to say this is how I roll, but if I invite you out to dinner, that means I'm paying for you for dinner.
Some people believe
Some
that.
people think that.
Yeah, they do.
So they could
They
have
do.
very much perceived that, we get invited, we accepted the invite, homeboy's covering it because it's all her and her girls. Our dudes is not here. Because if the dudes is there, their significant others, if they had any, I could see them looking at it differently, like, my man's gonna pay for me, he got me covered. But no, you invited me to your wife, girl, whatever. So that could be the situation. At the end of the day, like you said, common sense, some type of morals. You don't go in there and just go buck wild, number one. And number two, you contribute. Say thank you, or at least offer, give the man an opportunity to say, no, I got it. They didn't even, sound like they didn't even do that. So I didn't see the story. I didn't know the story. Let me ask you another question. You still have something?
No,
talk about this topic?
I just find it crazy how people would think like that. If you're being invited to a restaurant
Yeah.
and not like a venue, it all depends on what you see on the common
People
sense is
do.
if you're being invited to a restaurant, you got to know that you're coming out of your pocket in some way,
Everybody
shape, or
don't have
form.
common sense. So let me ask you.
I'm just
Let me ask
saying.
you this. Let me ask you this. So some people that take advantage, do you think some people innocently take advantage? And what I mean by that is like they're constantly on the receiving end from something or someone and they're always accepting, never being a giver, or if they're giving, they're not even giving anywhere near close to what they're receiving. Are they intentionally taking advantage or they just unaware of themselves in that way? Like,
give me an example. I think I know what you're talking
like
about.
I just said, so my example was like, okay, let's just say it could be any type of relationship, platonic, friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
One person is always receiving something from that person, whether it's asked or not. It's solicited or not. I didn't ask for this, but this person's always giving me, this person's always taking me, this person's always covering me or whatever have you. And I, in turn, don't always, if I do, it's never to the same capacity of this other individual. It's a person that's receiving constantly all the time, taking advantage of the other individual or individuals, whoever.
What do you think?
Do we need to have a conversation off camera?
No, I don't mean it like that.
Personal jokes. She's on attack today, girl.
Jeez Louise. Jeez.
Not all about you, honey. No.
Are you a narcissist? Like, everything is not about you. It's not about you. Goodness.
Let us find out.
If it's not being said to you at some point in time that it all depends on the person in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a position now where I've always, if I'm out with somebody, if I got it, I got it, and I just take care of you, and I'm not looking for it in return.
Mm-hmm.
But if that person, I would assume at some point there has to be a conversation.
Yeah.
Don't always assume that I'm going to take care of you or I'm going to take care of it. You gotta.
Well, the person, when the assumption piece comes into play, they're knowingly taking advantage because they're automatically know I got this person got it covered. I'm saying they don't automatically know. They don't always expect anything, but they're constantly on the receiving end. So is that person, I don't think they're intentionally taking advantage. I just think they're not self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
It could be some elements of that maybe they lack, to your point, self-awareness, but sometimes I just think people, they fall into that comfortable mode that when they know it's a level of comfort, it's like, yo, so-and-so got me.
Yeah.
It's okay. So either the person needs to, like you said, have a conversation or do subtle movements like, okay, so y'all going up to the thing and you know, whip out your thing like, oh, you got, it's 45-56.
Yeah.
Total 45-56. Everybody got it.
Yeah.
That, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you could do it subliminal. I don't know how subliminal it is, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you just have that direct dialogue and be like, yo, what's up?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Because I think lack of self-awareness comes into play with that. I also think they're not used to it, so they probably feel there's some probably awkwardness too. They don't know how to either say like you don't have to do that, or like I think that comes into play too. Or like you said, they get comfortable and they start to accept that shit. They be like, oh, listen, this is all new. I'm liking this shit. So
yeah, nobody.
I've never been on this side of the fence before. It feels nice over here. So
it could be.
Yeah,
I think. I think it's going back to that awareness piece. I think it's really important for folks to do that. Like oftentimes, like self-assess your relationships. Like take a moment to reflect back on relationships you have with people to see in situations. Hey, how was that? Did I, you know, whether I did something wrong or whether I noticed something, because I do that a lot, and I sometimes. I will miss things. Like there's things I'm very good and I don't miss anything. But when it comes to people I care about, that's my weakness. And it's like, I have a blind spot there where I might miss something that they did because I care about them.
I'm sorry, Karen. I'm sorry, Janine, if I've ever taken advantage.
You know what? This girl.
She feeling attacked today. I don't know why. You have never taken advantage.
Thank
girl.
you. I just want to make sure.
Loyal. You just loyal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's not, you're not taking advantage. But I would usually reflect back and I'm like, and then sometimes I'll go back to the situation. I'm like, you know what? And then it's like, oh, the lights open up and you're like, and then I can angle. God.
Yeah.
You know, because I missed it.
Yeah.
And then, so then I have to move differently.
Yeah. So, being taken advantage comes in different ways.
Okay.
So it could be tangible, it could be non-tangible. So tangible, something physical, monetary, a gift or whatever have you. But time, emotions. Somebody's always pouring or dumping their shit on you and not even taking a second to say, how you doing?
Shit. That's a good one. That's a good one. Cause yes. And then you, or coming to dump their shit on you to get advice. And then when it's time for you to, that you need some advice or nothing, they ain't, you know, or you get on the phone with them and somehow, some way you want to talk about your shit and then all of a sudden you're talking about their shit.
Right.
And it's like, wait a minute. You get on the phone, like, I ain't even get the answers to what I need.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
so that's a, you're right. That happens.
Yeah.
And it's about setting boundaries too. And I think some of it's maturity. You you know, because I think sometimes when we're younger, we don't want to lose a friend or it could be family, you know, you don't want to lose that bond. It doesn't matter whether it's friend, cousin, sister, whatever, significant other, for sure. So you don't say anything.
Yeah.
So I always find when we let things linger too long, it's never a fucking good thing.
What they say about that, still problems never fix themselves up. What's that damn saying go? Oh,
that means still
broke problems never get, whatever. Don't age well.
They don't. It doesn't because you never, and then what ends up happening when it blows up, it really blows up because now you're so angry. You got that pent up energy that you never let out. So I just believe that we should, I don't know. I don't like to hold on to things.
Yeah.
Because that's not good.
Yeah.
But you're right.
The moral of the story is set your boundaries, speak your piece. You can't control how the other person is going to receive that message. You only can control how you deliver it. Try to deliver it with compassion, love.
Yeah.
As best you can. But at the end of the day, if they walk away angry at you, you're free from what you're feeling. And you done set your boundaries and you said what you need to say. I said what I said.
And you know what, I agree with everything with that. And I also would say, also, as you're setting your boundaries, be receptive to whatever they're saying to you so that you can see where you might be sending out different messages.
Right.
That you don't even realize that you're sending out.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, because sometimes we move in a way, people make assumptions. So they're like, oh, I thought I could do this. And it's like, hang on.
Yep, and that's that accountability part. You got to be accountable for what you allow to happen to you. Like
that comes from maturity, though.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not mature like that.
Yeah. Well,
but whatever.
Grow up, people. God damn it.
I'm piggybacking off of her. I said what I said.
Oh, shit.
It's all depending on how you receive it.
Well, that just negates everything I said. It depends how you receive it. I just said you're supposed to be accountable for your shit.
I am going to be accountable for no.
Nah, you can't put the wall up.
You couldn't even. I don't want to hear what you gotta say. I said what I said.
I said what I said.
It's sad, but that's how I've been feeling lately. It's like,
that's
okay,
all right.
Yeah.
You have those moments. So, yeah, but
okay. So it's okay to have those moments, but just in your quiet time, take a moment to reflect back on the situation to determine whether what you said was the right thing to say, or could you have said it in a different way,
which I acted.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. So to make it so that's more digestible, so people will understand
next time.
Yeah. Or why you were in that space at that.
Why you got that energy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And but that's the thing. So real quick, sorry. When you say you said what you said. And with that level of aggression, you know?
No, I don't never say any aggression. I've been trying to say everything with a smile. Now, if I've said it more than once and it's not,
big old sigh,
then it gets aggressive.
Then
it's like, look,
big old sigh behind it. I'd be like, well, dang, did she
if I got a sigh before I speak again, yeah.
I feel you on that. All right. Well, as we end this, what do you have here? Because actually, it tastes like juice.
Yes.
Like apple juice, don't it?
No, not even apple juice, because apple juice is my favorite thing.
The good, not even the good apple juice. This is like the fake, the no brand.
No, fake.
We gonna say what this is. So check it out. This is we recording this during January, and I think most of us all are having either a full dry January or semi-dry January, or something's dry about the January, So we, instead of us having our lovely libations that are alcoholic, this is alcohol free, but it's
a Sauvignon Blanc. It's refreshing. I'll say it's refreshing, but it's not giving it's not supposed to give you a buzz for sure, but it's supposed to give you the
illusion that you are drinking
like we normally do. And I don't know if I'm getting that with this one. I gotta try another one. I'm just testing this out.
It's good.
It's working. Cheers.
Cheers.
Till next time.
Till next time.